Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm showing some cards I made using Spellbinders July 2022 Card Kit of the Month and also their July Embossing Folder of the Month. The card kit theme is Under the Sea Magic. If you are interested in subscribing, I do have links provided in the description box below. In order to receive the July Club Kits, you do need to sign up and subscribe by July 24th. Let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. This is a very simple card design. Many of the pattern papers included in the card kit have these beautiful scenes. So I cut this one down with the beautiful mermaid in the lower right hand corner. I'll layer it on some light purple cardstock and then again on some dark purple cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Next I'll add the sentiment, and I am using my mini Misti since I'm stamping directly onto my card. I hope today is filled with magic. I'll add a small banner in the upper left-hand corner using that same dark purple cardstock. Just adhere that in place using some liquid adhesive. The card kit does include solid cardstock, but I'll also be using additional cardstock since I add a lot of layers to my cards. For a finishing touch, I'm adding some Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini star style in the pink holographic color. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. If you're a purple fan, you will love the pattern paper in this kit. Lots and lots of purple. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from OWH. This is number 218. My card is featuring another beautiful mermaid image. There's lots of them in the paper pad. I'm layering all of these pieces on some purple cardstock. For the very background of the card, that white cardstock, it's actually the card bases that are included in the kit. I don't use them for card bases since I prefer 120-pound cardstock, but they're perfect for backgrounds or for stamping your sentiment. For that bottom strip on the card, I'm using this lovely floral tone-on-tone paper, and I decided to change this sketch up just a little bit. It's my favorite sketch and I almost always follow it exactly. I decided I would change it this time. I did put a silver Love from Lizi peel-off along the top of that purple paper, and I decided to have that strip all the way to the bottom of the card front. Usually it's up slightly so you could see about 1/4 of an inch of that background showing. Since the little mermaid is facing to the right, I decided to have that image all the way to the left on the card. I think the overall feel of the card flows better when the image is facing in instead of out on the card. For the sentiment, I've already stamped and cut this out. You are made of stardust and wishes and magical things. And I used a stitch circle die for that. Just glued it down using liquid adhesive. And I did put a small scrap piece of cardstock on the right side of the sentiment before adhering it in place. Instead of the 3 small circles as indicated on the sketch, I'm adding some small silver glitter star peel-offs. Just put 3 of them to the right of the image. I'll also add a little bit of sparkle to the mermaid using a clear glitter brush. So there is my finished card, and again I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 313. This card will be featuring this sweet little seahorse, and this is from the same pattern paper as the previous card. It had the mermaid in the lower left-hand corner and the little seahorse in the upper right-hand corner. So I looked for a sketch to use that small seahorse image. For the background paper, I have this really fun design with starfish and seahorse all over it. I'm adding some more of that purple floral tone-on-tone paper, cut a fishtail on the left side. Then I'll be layering this background piece on the gold mirror cardstock that's included in the kit. Then I'll layer it again on some dark purple cardstock. So you'll see just that narrow strip of the gold mirror cardstock, but it adds a lot of shine. Put my card front onto a card base. I layered the seahorse pattern paper on the same dark purple cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back and adhere my seahorse to the card. Next, I'll cut a small banner from some light purple cardstock, just cutting the fishtail on the left side. And this is where I'll be adding the sentiment. Before adhering that banner in place, I will put some scrap cardstock on the very left side where it goes off of that seahorse paper. Then I'll adhere it in place using some liquid adhesive. I'll be using the gold puffy stickers that are included in the kit. You have a full alphabet. Now these are stickers, so they do have adhesive on the back, but I'm also adding just a tiny bit of liquid adhesive to ensure they won't fall off later. Sometimes the puffy stickers aren't really sticky. To finish off the card, I'll add some of the lovely gem stickers that are included in the kit. I selected the blue color, and it almost looks like there's gold glitter embedded on the inside. Again, they do have adhesive on the back, but I like to add just that small drop of liquid adhesive to ensure they stay in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make two using this design. The seahorse images are some of my favorites in this kit. Now moving on to card design number 4. I have one of the die cut pieces, this beautiful floral piece with gold foiling, and I decided to add a little bit of color. I'm using some purple Distress Oxide ink and just adding a very light coating of ink, a little darker in the center. I'm using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from Mojo Monday. It's sketch number 535. And if you are interested in any of the card sketches I use in this video, I do share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. I selected this beautiful pink and purple floral paper for the background, added a strip of pink cardstock on the left, and I'm using some more of that purple tone-on-tone floral paper for the smaller rectangle piece. This is my third card design using that purple floral paper. I layered everything on some dark purple cardstock. I'll add my card front onto a card base. Next, I'll add a white circle die cut, and I cut this out from the card bases that are included in the kit. I'll be popping up the floral die cut piece, put some thin foam dimension on the back side, remove the release paper, and adhere the floral image on that circle die cut. The sentiment is "Let's Celebrate." It's another die cut piece. It has some lovely gold foiling on it, so it matches the floral die cut piece. And I did put some foam dimension on the back side. For a final finishing touch, I'm using some more of the gem stickers, this time in the purple color. I'll add 2 of them in the upper right hand corner and 1 above the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Spellbinders always include some lovely florals in their paper pads. Now moving on to card design number 5. The card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. It's sketch number 1. I have this beautiful mermaid scale pattern paper for the background, and it does have gold foil finish on it. I'll be featuring another seahorse that I cut out from some pattern paper. The other pattern paper piece that goes in the background at an angle, it's this fun design that has a mixed media look to it. For the narrow strip that goes across the card, I'm using some light purple cardstock. Then I'll layer the background piece on some purple cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Most of my cardstock layers, I add an additional 1/8 of an inch to the measurements listed on the card sketch. Before adhering my seahorse image, I will put some scrap cardstock on the back side where it goes above that light purple cardstock strip. For the sentiment, I'm using one of the chipboard stickers. This is Celebrate. It has that pretty gold foil finish on it. It does have adhesive on the back, but I'm also adding some liquid adhesive just to ensure it doesn't pop off later. Next, I'll add a couple of the die cut pieces. I have one of the shells and also a starfish. And I did pop up this starfish using some foam dimension. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a few Love from Lizi peel-offs in the upper right-hand corner. This is the gold mirror color in the mini circle style. I'm adding 3 of the medium-sized circles in the upper right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. There's a lot of gold shine on this card. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 513. I'm using some of the card-based paper for the background, and I have the texture side up. At the very bottom, I have a strip of pattern paper with lots of hexagons, including some with the gold foil finish. I'll layer everything on some green cardstock. Above that pattern paper, I also added a narrow strip of the gold mirror cardstock that's included in the kit, although you'll only see the very outside edge. I used some of the double-sided tape that's included in the kit to adhere that in place. Then I'll layer my background on that same green cardstock, put my card front onto a card base. For the large rectangle, I use another pattern paper. It's this mint green, and in the background there's tiny little white and purple stars. And this is where I'll be creating a fun underwater scene using the dies that are included in the kit. I love the dies that are included this month. We have seaweed, seahorse, some fish, bubbles, 2 different mermaids, there's some starfish, so many fun images to create your little underwater scene. So I've already cut out all of the pieces. I'm adding lots of seaweed to the very bottom of this pattern paper panel. I cut out the mermaid from the gold mirror cardstock. I am using an acrylic block to hold some of those pieces down while the glue adheres. The sentiment is one of the die cut pieces, Believe in Your Dreams, and I did pop it up using some foam dimension. I cut out the 2 seahorses in light purple, the 3 little fish using dark purple cardstock, and the bubbles I used some white shimmer cardstock. And I did speed this portion up quite a bit while I'm adhering all of these little die cut pieces in place. I also have a couple of the die cut images. There's the gold shell and also the green starfish. And I will be popping those up and adding them to the lower left-hand corner. I love that Spellbinders always includes 2 each of all their die cut images and sentiments. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. This is one of my favorite cards, but I have several favorites this month since I really enjoyed this card kit. Now moving on to card design number 7. The card sketch is from Sweet Sunday. This is number 300. I selected this beautiful pattern paper for the background. It has small fish and lots of coral. Layering that on some purple cardstock. I'll add some Love from Lizi peel-offs along the edge of that pattern paper. This is the pinstripe style in the purple holographic color. They're super sparkly. I will be covering up the left side of that pattern paper, so if I don't have a full peel-off strip going across, it won't matter since it'll be hidden. For the narrow strips at the top and bottom of the card, I used some light purple cardstock, and for that little extra detail, I used the July embossing folder of the month and just used the polka dot portion. There is another card later in this video featuring the July embossing folder. I'll adhere those embossed strips onto the dark purple cardstock. And now I have that gap in the center. I'll add some scrap cardstock pieces there before adhering my pattern paper panel. Then I'll put some ATG tape on the back and adhere my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll attach a large stitch circle die cut, and I use some white shimmer cardstock for that. I'll glue it down using liquid adhesive. Then I pulled out several different die cut pieces. I have 3 images, and the sentiment, Have an Enchanted Birthday. And I love that beautiful gold finish on the word enchanted. I did pop up the sentiment using some foam dimension. And on all of the images, I'll glue them down using liquid adhesive. I'll put the little mermaid down first, then I have a shell and also a starfish. Then to finish off the card, I'll use some more of the gem stickers that are included in the kit, this time the gold glitter color. Put 2 of them in the upper left-hand corner and 1 underneath the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. This is another very purple card, but my next 3 I'm steering away from the purple and trying to focus on some other colors. For card design number 8, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is sketch number 44. This is such a fun sketch. I decided to change it up just a little bit this time. Instead of the 2 pattern papers for the background, I'll be using just 1. This is really pretty ombre polka dot paper. I'll layer it on some green cardstock. Then for the featured pattern paper that's at an angle, I have this beautiful green tone-on-tone floral paper, and there's also some dark green butterflies mixed in. I first layered that piece on the same green cardstock, then I held that piece up to the background, flipped over the panel, trimmed off the edges, so now I have that fun, unique design. Put some ATG tape on the back and adhere my card front onto a card base. Instead of the circle that's indicated on this sketch, I'm using one of the die cut pieces in the hexagon shape. It says, "Dance with fairies, ride a unicorn, swim with mermaids, chase your dreams." I decided to layer it on the same green cardstock. So I just glued it down, and I'm using my scissors to trim that border around the edges. For the banner that goes off to the left, I'm using some of the gold mirror cardstock. And I'll adhere that down using some of the double-sided tape that's included in the kit. It's so nice that Spellbinders card kits include double-sided tape and also a sheet of foam dimension. Before I attach that sentiment, I will put some scrap cardstock pieces on the back side. The gold mirror cardstock does have a little bit of thickness to it, so I'm trying to make sure to keep everything about the same level. I'll also add 1 foam dimension square on the very right side of that sentiment. Next, I'll add one of the mermaid die cut pieces. The green matches beautifully with the background paper. I did pop her up using some foam dimension. Then using that same green cardstock, I'll add a banner in the upper right-hand corner, and I just cut this myself. Then a final finishing touch, I'll use some more of the mini circle peel-offs in the gold color. I'll add 2 on the banner in the upper right-hand corner and 3 around the mermaid. The mini shape peel-offs are perfect for embellishments, especially if you don't want to add a lot of bulk to your cards. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 9, I'll be using the July embossing folder for the background. So I've already gone ahead and run it through my machine, and I decided to do it at a slight angle. I used some white shimmer cardstock, so it has this beautiful shimmery finish. I'm adding some gold Love from Lizi peel-offs in some of the grooves between those different patterns. This is the gold moon dust color in the pinstripe style. This background panel is the full A2 size. So I'll just flip it over, trim off the extra of the peel-offs, and I always save those extra strips on the sheet. So I'll add 1 more. So I have 2 strips toward the top and 1 closer toward the bottom. So now I'll put some adhesive on the back of this panel and add my card front onto a card base. Next, I'll add some of the beautiful floral die cut pieces. I'll add the larger arrangement in the upper left-hand corner and the single flower in the lower right-hand corner. And I did put foam dimension on the back side. The sentiment is beautiful, and this is another die cut piece. I added some of the double-sided tape on the back side of the sentiment to adhere it to the card. Then to finish off the card, I'll use some more of the gold glitter gem stickers that are included in the kit. Put 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 1 underneath the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this design. I love the monthly embossing folder club, and it pairs perfectly with the monthly card kit. Now moving on to my final card design. This is number 10. The card sketch is from OWH. It's number 153. For the background of my card, I have pattern paper with lots of little fairies, and there's also some teeny tiny gold foil polka dots. For the two narrow strips, I'm using some green tone-on-tone paper. Then I'll layer this panel on some pinkish cardstock. Put some ATG tape on the back and adhere my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For the image box, I used some more of the card base cardstock, and I've already added some gold watercolor paint splatter. I layered that piece on the same pink cardstock. For the sentiment, I'm using another die cut piece. This is a fairy happy birthday. I put some double-sided tape on the back side, and I'll be layering this die cut piece on some gold mirror cardstock. Just remove the release paper. I line up one of the sides against the edge of the cardstock, then I use my scissors to trim out the other borders. Before adhering it to my card, I'll put some scrap cardstock just on the very right side where it goes off of those two square cardstock layers. Then I'll put liquid adhesive on the back and adhere it in the lower right-hand corner of the two squares. I'll also be adding one of the fairy die cut images, and I did pop her up using some foam dimension. I think having that gold splatter in the background really adds to the look of the fairy. I'll add another die cut sentiment, this time magic, and I did pop that up using some foam dimension and adhere it next to the other sentiment. Then to finish off the card, I'll add some more of the glitter gem stickers. 2 in the upper right hand corner and 1 to the left of the pink fairy. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I love all the fun mermaids and fairies that are included in the kit, and there are some princess images as well. Now here's another look at the 20 cards I made using Spellbinders July 2022 Card Kit of the Month. The theme is Under the Sea Magic. I also used the July embossing folder for a few of my cards. If you are interested in subscribing to any of Spellbinders Club kits, I do have links provided in the description box below. In order to receive the kits I showed in this video, you do need to sign up and subscribe by July 24th. When Spellbinders has any past kits left over, they do sell those individually without needing a subscription, and I will add a link for that as well. Spellbinders has great sales throughout the year, and sometimes you can get a really good deal on a past kit, whether it's a card kit, a large die of the month kit, or any of their club kits. Coming soon, I will be sharing my video using the July large die of the month. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.